Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this, your Taurus October 2023 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel Saint James, clairvoyant, and I've done a number of clairvoyant readings for many of you over the course of the last month from different countries around the world, over FaceTime and Skype. And if you might be interested to see what is involved in that, then just have a look at the description below. Now, separately, I've also done a number of healings as well. Now, clairvoyant readings I charge for, but healings are free. That's my sole contract. The spiritual gift of healing means that I must provide it without getting anything in return for it. So healing is done. It's a free lunch, no obligation, nothing is being sold or promoted. Now let's get your 5 cards, shall we? Great to see the subscribers. I always love to see you, Thank you for welcoming me into your home. And we shall see what this deck has in store for you now. There are no ads in this content, as you know. There's the Queen of Cups, so you get to enjoy the experience directly. That looks like the 4 of Wands. There is Death. I'll take that off the top. There is the 7 of Cups, something from down in here. What do you think? I think so. Yeah. Wow, that is Major Arcana number 17, which is the Star. So, come and have a look at these beautiful images together with me now. We'll have a look to see what they set out, and we'll talk about the energies that are around you while I do your reading for you. Some changes going on in your life. A bit miserable there for a moment. Lack of get up and go. Very romantic time, finishing things off in wonderful, wonderful energy from the divine. Let's have a look at this Death card first, shall we? Because this is talk about you going through internal change, is what I can see here. Now, here, the Death. Now she rides a dark horse in a dark dress with an emblem of a war and command upon her chest, is what I see here. Now these are a symbol of great power, and a white rose against this black flag, is it? Flapping away there. There's sort of a yin and yang aspect to it, so there's balance and the endless cycle. And in the distance, there are here the sun rising up between 2 towers, hope eternal. Now from the horizon, a calm river flows on a waterfall, and it's spilling endlessly down the cliffs. Now the current flows, ready to sweep you away from all you know. And Death rides her dark horse, hiding her material form behind a death mask. She is ever present and yet ever a mystery, isn't she? Now, for me, the astrology of this card is Mars ruling Scorpio, I have to see here. But here, Mars, the fiery planet of energy in its lowest form, which is necessary to provide the impulse to change. Now, I think what we have here is this sense of death and resurrection, you going through a process of leaving something behind but coming back to something anew, a transformation. You becoming free of old ensnarements and external changes going on around you as well. So there's letting go, I think, also of emotional attachments. There's something of an end of an era about here, of a transformation. Old relationships are demanding to be disintegrated. Now, this process could be tied up with some painful experiences. However, because you've drawn this card and it's sitting right in the middle here, this indicates to me that you are ready for this. The act of letting go, difficult as it may seem to be, is actually going to free you. Now, death has 2 faces, one destroying and tearing down, The other freeing you from old chains which have become confining and preventing life. Now, which of these aspects will dominate depends on your attitude. Any desire to hold on or cling to old chains will cause those things that you're holding on to appear, their death to appear much more agonizing. So it is the case, I think, that there is something in your life that is sort of dying, dissolving, disintegrating, whether it be a structure that you have created, a pattern of behavior, a habit, or a way of thinking about yourself and the world. Now, this is necessary for your evolution, for new beginnings and transformation in your life. This is a period of great transformation, and it may require you to face probably what could be some of your darkest fears, because everybody fears change, don't they? But remember that the darkest hour is just before the dawn. Now, in order to grow and abandon the old, death is your protection against stagnation. You are really, in a sense, being forced to leave behind what you have outgrown. You are now ready, I think, to make the necessary changes in your life and accept any aggravation that may come with the loss of the old. And ask yourself this question: to what outdated relationships or situations are you clinging? Say to yourself, I let go of people and situations with ease and dignity. Every ending heralds the new beginning. I now say yes to death and yes to myself. Now, there is a period here where this change is ongoing anyway, and this change is happening regardless of the other things that are going on and other emotions that you may be considering. And one of those emotions is a little bit of disheartened about things, I think, a little bit of a lack of get up and go. Here we have the Seven of Cups, the astrology for me being Venus in Scorpio. And what we have here, with the number 7, I have a mystical association with the planet of Venus as well. So there is a double Venus coming into Scorpio, and Venus just charges in to Scorpio without any breaks. The problem is, astrologically, is that Venus is in detriment in Scorpio. And so, although she is the planet of love, relationship, also the planet of money, I might add, and of all those good things to do with the heart, because she's in detriment, rather than being able to express herself fully, she's kind of confined. And what happens here also is that where there's also a mental aspect to this, because where you have Venus of this strength in Scorpio, her influence in the realm of Scorpio is by no means clear-sightedness. So there is an element of confusion or illusion around you here, because you believe what you want to believe when Venus is in Scorpio in this type of a situation. And so there's a feeling here, I think, that there's a bit of a lack of get up and go, perhaps as if, you've worn yourself out. Have you overtaxed yourself? Have you overworked? Have you run out of energy, run out of steam? Have things that used to provide you great enjoyment gone away? Have you looked outside and all the flowers seem to be drooping and food all tastes stale? You know what I mean there. Well, this energy that's around here, or this sort of perception that you might have, the key to it is deep soul work, bringing balance to your inner and outer values. Become aware of your conditioning patterns that's in your subconscious that maybe have led you to this position where you just feel flat, and get in touch with your higher self. Maybe do an audit, a reevaluation of your values and beliefs. and work out what is your real soul purpose here. What are the terms of your soul contract? Get rid of unsupportive beliefs and patterns. Now, you have the ability to change conditions in your life by uniting with the higher vibrations of the light. And I've got this, I see the star is sitting here as well, so it makes a lot of sense. But the good thing about this energy is that it brings you the focus to fire up your creative imagination, to turn things into reality. Now, the lesson here is to remember what your purpose here on earth is. And it sort of focuses on that tension between the higher self and your character that you've built up over the years. You see, you are a spirit that's actually inhabiting a temporary vehicle, which, like an actor, you've created a character for it. And you are struggling with the variations between spirit and matter. Now, there could well be something of an emotional overload going on here, and it might be that you feel that life becomes overwhelming at times, but stick with it, because your heart really is unhappy, and it's seeking reconnection with the spirit. So learn to rejoin with the oneness that maybe you have forgotten, or maybe just you have ignored. I think this does mean that there are some delusionary ideas around it. And are these guiding you, aligning yourself with the light of the divine through whatever way you want to do that? That will attune you with your soul purpose. Know yourself and love yourself from deep within. You see, wisdom, love, and understanding of your true path and spiritual growth, they are coming into your life at this time. And how do I know that? Because this is telling me that that is happening. And this is the star, Major Arcana number 17. What's happening in this picture? Shall we have a look at it? Well, here a woman stands in the stream of consciousness, parting it around her. Her feet are planted against the force of the river, really, indicating that she is bathed in feminine power and spiritual strength. Now, she is also practical and grounded herself. She pours water back into the stream while also pouring water onto that green grass, that green earth there. Now, the stars of the sky are illustrated by, I assume, this type of a thing here. And at the zenith of the heavens, there is this 8-pointed star, which is in the sky. Now, actually, traditionally in Christianity, go back to the old days, the 8-pointed star was used to ward off evil. What we have here is Saturn ruling Aquarius here. Now, Aquarius is all about the individual and uniqueness, and yet it has an overall humanitarian outlook, doesn't it? Well, the star shares these qualities in that it is reminding you about the divinity and the uniqueness which is within you, while encouraging you to be a pipe for bringing down your highest potential. There's a great degree of inspiration here for you now, so you've got over this. And also self-recognition, a radiating clear vision, and a great trust in yourself and high self-confidence. There's hope, happiness, opportunities, optimism. And I think that you'll have self-confidence and high self-esteem. And you'll want to bring in something new, I think. I'm getting a feeling here of bringing in new stuff. That's because of that Aquarius influence. Now, the star is Major Arcana number 17. Well, 17, numerologically, is the number of dreaming, promise, perceiving things, and imagination. And it brings spiritual evolution by finding your true self, that treasure which is in your heart. Now, this is offering you guidance, wholeness, inspiration, and focus on your path towards understanding what your destiny is and where that's fitting in the universal plan. Now, this is reminding you that you are being provided with a continuous light that shines on you as you go through your soul path in this world. And when you feel lost or you experience a lack of hope or find yourself avoiding situations, then this star shines brightly on your true inner self. It guides you to your inner voice. Now, by receiving this universal life, you connect to a deeper understanding, which leads to healing, self-esteem, self-love, and self-trust, which opens you up to receive cosmic inspiration from the divine. The star does bring hope and healing. So I think that this is a time when you are going to be inspired by life. And it is a reminder for you to follow your dreams, those things that give you the most inspiration. And be open to love and trust creation and what it brings. Now, encouragement is now being given that, well, I think you've had some testing times in the past, haven't you? Well, now is the time to move forward with renewed hope and live an inspired life that you can express yourself in fully. Let your star rise and stay in contact with the earth. Trust your environment and find ways to let others share in it. You will be tested and recognized by the fruits you bear. Ask yourself this: are you actually totally fulfilled in your present area of work? Check to see if you are doing everything possible to bring your ideas into reality. And say this to yourself: I am a radiant light being. I am a star that walks upon a bigger star. I see what can be of benefit to people around me. And my creative powers of imagination and my connection to all-encompassing consciousness, they show me the way to realize my ideas. Now, it's touching upon this card, and it doesn't surprise me to see this here, because this says to me that you have in connection with this period of process of change that you're going through, you will have a few things to tie off, and you may be as yet undecided about which way to go, but that's not in a bad way. Now let's have a look at this pic. Now this looks like, who are those? Is that Edward? Well, royal watchers, British royal watchers would probably know that to be Edward and Mrs. Simpson, I suppose. Well, the astrology of this card, incidentally, is that of Venus in Aries. And you might think that that's a problem because Mars rules Aries, and the thing is also is that when she's in Libra, she's got to come 180 degrees away to the other side of the zodiac, and Venus is in detriment in Aries, and she's sitting next door to Mars. Now, Mars has a bit of a reputation to contend with, I suppose we could say. And you might ask yourself, well, what is the relationship between Venus and Mars? Well, Venus, of course, is both the evening star, isn't she? Where she's very much, for me, associated with tenderness, love, relationship, beauty, good things in life. But she's also the morning star, where she's there before the sun comes up. And then I like to refer to her almost as the warrior queen. So that aspect of her I see as sitting quite well with Mars, and so there being no astrological discord there at all. And what this is saying, though, that this is a time for your development and growth. That's that Mars, Aries activity that's happening through there. And you are on the right track and you are making progress. Now, this Four of Wands also says that it's bringing you in connection with this Death card as well. Renewal, development, new ideas and concepts. Certainly a level of perfection is being reached, and you are riding now the energetic wave of creativity right out to the next horizon of possibilities. Now, this brings movement in new directions. That new direction is brought about by that Aries sign that Venus is in here. So you might find, though, also that there's one aspect of yourself wants to go in that direction, whereas another aspect of you wants to go in that direction, and another one yet says, well, I just want to stay where I am. But nevertheless, you are planning your next step into the future. And to keep the energy moving, the actions of completion and starting need to keep cycling. Now, in order that you can move forward, you do need to tie off things that need to be tied off from the past, because you realize that accounts must be settled. You've got to close off the balance and open up a new account, as if it were. And this is moving energy from this successful platform, I think, which is here now. Because this has come into your life, you have or are going to complete something with great success, and fulfillment and reward will flow to you. Now, you are free from constrictions and limitations. I don't know that you'll be free from deadlines. I think we can always have deadlines. But well-being, high energy and stamina are yours, and this is not withstanding. This period here has been overcome, you see. You see, you've got to unleash your creative energy and channel it into new opportunities. And this is moving that energy into that, from that platform that you've got. Now, I think this brings also social engagements here, generosity going around in different areas, celebratory events, like weddings, attending people's birthdays, parties and things like that. Do you know, these achievements that you have, they give you a moment to catch your breath and to take in the content of the journey that's brought you to the present place. Now, it's also saying, but don't rest on your laurels of victory for too long, because you've got to keep moving. You've got to continue moving. And this says that new levels of growth and development in a project or in a relationship or in a lifestyle, they're around and they're positive and they're bringing a great degree of harmony and emotional satisfaction. So press on now. Now is the time to move. And that only leaves us, I think, with this Queen of Cups. Hello, Queen of Cups. A lot of Cancer around this, a lot of Gemini around it. So they are going to be important to you, I would suggest. Now, because she's shown up and it was the first card that you drew, I think she's also asking you to think about the deeper aspect of yourself. What dream is calling you? What watery realms within are starting to shift? And she's here to assist you through emotional transitions. Now, when challenges confront you, she reminds you to remember what brings true happiness to your heart, and she asks you to be gentle with yourself and live your life through love, to follow what your heart seeks by listening and trusting your intuitions without judgment. I will say this, though, and it is the case, that you might find that you are very much affected by people or events around you during this time. They might have an unusual greater than normal impact upon you. Because I get the feeling that, well, you very much be in the position of being able to see through others and reflect back to them. You almost are transparent in that respect. She is someone here who depends mostly on the influences that affect her. And she's very much at the disposal of every impact or impression. Nevertheless, you would be very intuitive, I think, an observer. You could find that from time to time you'll be quite dreamy and poetic. You'll be kind and yet passive, with possibly some sort of psychic awareness. You will be showing your emotions openly, and I get a lot of feeling of emotional integrity and motherhood around here. Now, she's reminding you, I think, that by showing your feelings openly, you become beautiful. There may be people who don't understand you. Well, don't worry about them, because there are plenty of other people who can share your feelings and ways of looking at things. Now, are you open to your emotions and feelings? So trust your feelings, live in harmony with them, and say, my openness and vitality, they make me beautiful. Well, what a fantastic set of cards for you. Well done, you.
I've got to say, I loved spending that time with you. I really did, and what a great month it looks like it's going to be for you. A few ups, a few downs, but very much on the positive side altogether, I think. That's what's going on with you, and don't you deserve it? I think you do. It really is time for you to have some good times, aren't it? Now look, if you did enjoy the reading, would you do me this favor, and it's all I ask, that on the way out, please hit the like button, or do it now if you would. It's good for the computer or YouTube, whatever it may be. And unless you contact me privately, I'll see you again next month. And until then, remember one thing though, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. And until then, it's bye for now.